Managing interruptions while presenting. And if you're following this course, one thing should be clear about presenting to executives. You need to be flexible and prepared to pivot. The how of handling interruptions can only build your credibility. What I mean is, the approachability, the credibility you demonstrate as you get interrupted can play in your favor. I'm talking about the terms and social cognition research, specifically referring to warmth and competence. Warmth, being the friendliness and trustworthiness you exude when you interact with your audience. Competence being the knowledge, the logic and confidence you demonstrate in the process. Let's break down these two into specific behaviors and preparation that will help you win your audience over. First, managing interruptions while exuding warmth. Listen with your ears and more. What I mean by this is, take the interruption in stride and really focus on the nonverbals as you listen to your executive throw out a question or a comment. Nod slightly, tilt your head and ear to listen, make eye contact. Well, let your gaze rise as you take in the information. Now, quickly decipher, is this a comment or is it a question? Maybe all you have to say is, "You're right, that's a very interesting case," or "I hear you. I thought the same thing while doing the research." Your goal is to build rapport and connect with your executive. Not all comments need an answer. When you're asked a direct question, be sure to give an answer but avoid a simple yes or no response. Make your responses evaluative. For example, answer yes and give the reason or example of why, or answer no and also connect to some relevant information. Rapport-building responses could start with short phrases such as, "I'm glad you asked this question because," or, "Oh yes, I struggled with the same question when I researched this," or "Thank you for bringing this up, here's how I went about my research." If the interruption does not come in the form of a question or comment but rather a phone ringing, a person coming in and out of a meeting, or a side conversation, you can build your trustworthiness by taking a beat and deciding whether it's appropriate to move on or pause. Next, preparing for interruptions to exude competence. Much of your responses to interruptions will depend on your level of preparedness. For example, practice your content in threes. Work on rehearsing the flow from the introduction to the first example, and then take a break. Later, pick up from a third into your presentation and closer to the end. Pick up another project, take another break, and come in later to practice the closing of your presentation. Ask a trusted colleague to pepper you with questions right after your opening line. You should be able to pivot and jump around in all of your content with ease. Prepare your content to stay at a high level and expect to take deep dives if necessary. Prezi, a presentation software that uses drill-down animation, is a good analogy for this. The main part of your information or key idea should fit into that one slide, and each of the pieces can branch off to additional information if the audience chooses to go there. A final piece of competence in a presentation comes with hyperlinked slides or clearly marked appendix pages. If you know that a graph or a chart will lead to additional questions, link that to an appendix slide or point to the corresponding page and be ready to dive in. Interruptions are an opportunity for you to showcase your preparation and build trust with your audience. Now, check the exercise files where I help you find sticking points in your flow and prepare you to pivot. You got this!